Okay, so there's something else that is interesting about canvases that I think I should share. Um, so, I explained in the last video about stretcher bars and how the canvases are assembled, but there's one other thing that I thought, once I'd finished that video, that's important for people to know who are thinking about maybe painting on canvas. First of all, why do you paint on canvas and not just on paper? What is special about canvas? Is it just because it looks old-fashioned or whatever? Well, even still, some people paint on wood panels, plywood and things like that, which you can actually buy from art shops now. I don't actually have any in here. I have one little one. This little painting of a dustbin is just on a piece of plywood, specifically made for painting on. It doesn't bend, stays flat. Sometimes you get them actually mounted on stretcher bars as well, so they can be hung on the wall and stuff like that. Anyway, the reason why people paint on canvas is because it's got some good benefits for as a surface for painting on too. It's archivally quite good. It lasts for a long time if it's kept in the right conditions and it's treated well and it has the right materials put onto it. There are canvases in existence that are hundreds of years old and they're still okay. The other thing is it's flexible. I don't want to get too scientific or anything, and also I don't know the full science of it, but this can expand and contract because it's made out of natural materials. So when there's moisture in the environment, it's less likely to kind of crack and fall apart like work on paper might. It's just got a bit more strength than paper. There are obviously variations to that because you can get very, very cheap canvases and you can get very, very expensive canvases. Also, let's just talk about canvas itself as a material for a moment. So not the stretcher bars, just the fabric. There are many different things that people paint on as well. So obviously I was just showing you a pre-made canvas, which is cotton duck, which has been primed with white gesso. Actually, I don't know why I keep putting that down. I should keep holding it really. The reason why, let's talk about linen in a second. These are actually made out of almost the same material. You can see the colouring difference. Now I want you to listen also, because there's a sound thing. So, the reason I'm doing that is to try and demonstrate the roughness of this compared to the smoothness of this. Often pre-made canvases, they've been painted in an industrial way. I'm not sure if it's done with a machine or what, but there's still a little bit of texture here. It's not as smooth as some paper, but it's quite a uniform surface. And sometimes once paint is applied to it, it can go almost shiny. I prefer my paintings to have a matte kind of effect, so I like the roughness. I really like the paintings of Francis Bacon, and if you look at his paintings, he uses really rough linen and canvas. It grips the paint in a way that's a little bit more like pastel-y. Yeah, almost pixelated, because it grabs the paint in certain places and it misses other places. It depends how you put the paint on, obviously. If it's very dry or wet, it's different. Anyway, so the difference in texture is one reason why people would choose this over this or this over that. And then there's one other variable, which is the actual canvas itself can be made out of different materials. Those two materials generally are cotton and linen. So sometimes people are like, what's the difference? Why would I choose linen and not cotton, or cotton and not linen? There's various reasons. So I like this stuff. I've been painting on it for a long time. The cotton, it's called cotton duck. But I have used linen as well. I also know some painters like Nick Goss, for instance, who always paints on very interesting linen, which has interesting weaves, almost herringbone weave. This is a even rougher texture. You can almost see through it. I'm not sure if you can see my hand there through the canvas. There's like, this is quite a loose weave of linen. Once it's been primed or painted on, it goes much harder than cotton. It's almost like board. It's also, I believe, the more traditional material. So older canvases were generally made out of linen and not cotton. Cotton is more of a modern kind of material to be using for this purpose. Linen generally is more expensive, and it's why often most pre-made canvases are made with cotton duck. But you can actually get pre-made canvases with linen as well. It depends on the art shop and so on. In terms of linen, there's different grades of weave, which will equal a different surface quality. Also with canvas, there's different weights. So that's the thickness of the thickness and the kind of weave of the canvas itself. So they come in different weights. The larger the number, the thicker and the less flexible the canvas. If you are stretching small canvases like this, sometimes if you use a very heavyweight canvas, it's quite difficult to get it around the corners, but generally it's good for very big canvases like that. And that goes the same for linen as well. It's in different weights and weaves and things. It's best probably to go to an art shop and feel them and kind of experiment, and then you'll be able to decide what you kind of want to use. So hopefully that explains a little bit about the surface and the actual textile of canvas. And if you want to know anything about the stretcher bars and the construction of canvases, check out the other video. All right, if you have any questions, let me know.